How is it going, Remnant community? It's Kirk back again with another video. This one is going to be about 10 secret rings that you may have missed in your playthroughs. So this one are some rings that I've actually gone through recently and had to get some of these myself because I'm trying to 100% the game. But these are rings that are kind of off the beaten path, or you got to speak to some random person or jump down some hole that you might not have ever seen. They're not super obvious. These aren't going to be the rings that are laying out on the ground in front of you. Hopefully this helps you out. Let's get right into it. And our first stop is going to be Yeisha. You want to make sure that you've rolled the Ravager or the Forbidden Grove zone. And we are going to be getting the Loadstone Ring. Now this increases your damage to illuminated enemies by 5%. The way you illuminate enemies is by having the Loadstone Crown. And the way you actually get this ring is by having the Loadstone Crown as well. So you will need to look up how to get that. But once you have it, it's super easy. We just load right into the Forbidden Grove. I'm sure everybody's seen this guy before. Poor bastard. I love his voice lines. They're so good. Probably one of my favorite characters in the game for sure. Once you got the crown equipped, you just speak to him and you want to exhaust all his dialogue until you get to the point where you can ask him what he's selling. And then once you get to that point, you can back out of the dialogue. Like say, I should get going. And he'll say, hey, hold up, guy. What do you got on your head? And then he'll give you the ring.
How came it to buy this thing? A statement so simple, yet vast in implication. Yet does the Paxeltech know whose crown it wears? What legacy rests upon its vacant pate? It speaks with the air of the last king of the band, the last king as an and so, wear this well, and may...
Now, we're going to go back to Yeisha, back to the Forbidden Grove, and we're actually going to go back and talk to the exact same guy, but you will need to re-roll your campaign to do this. We are getting the Frivolous Band. This increases your evade speed by 10%. Perfect evade increases fire rate by 10% and melee speed by 10% for 10 seconds. So that's pretty hot. But we're literally going to go talk to the same guy, only this time on a new roll. You're going to give him all of the goofy, kind of humorous answers.
Paxeltech. Those foreign to the pound have not... The pestilence takes me. But the Paxeltech, how comes it here, to your ship? What manner of power it has? I am Bedell of the Vaunt. When this world was young, now the band betrays the world. The Ravager, once part in the Red Doe. If it seeks to save its own life and world, the past will take
I love this guy. And then once you get him to where you've exhausted his dialogue and he will let you shop, then we're going to move on to the next step. Now, this man has a vendetta against the Ravager, so we are going to go kill the big wolf boy. So all you need to do is progress through the story of this campaign or this adventure, do it as normal. So once you've gotten to the point where you're about to fight the Ravager, and I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but you have three different options. You can kill the doe, and the Ravager's like, appreciate it, dog, and that's it. You can kill the doe and then kill the Ravager, I believe. Or you can revive the doe. I think there's one where you can also, you can let the Ravager like consume the deer halfway through the fight or something like that. But what you want to do on this one is to revive the doe with your relic.
the bridge between
Now that you've killed the Ravager, we're going to travel back to the Forbidden Grove and go back and talk to Ignacio. I've just decided I'm going to call him Ignacio for the purposes of this video. We've probably seen his name on the screen like 4 times up until now, and I just haven't been paying attention. Now he's going to ask you why the dough is out there, if it was something that you did, and you're just going to answer with maybe, and then kind of continue goofy answers.
Less than a miracle. Pixel tech. Has it played a role in this blood? Its humility is transparent. It has not saved lives, but life itself. I confess, yet I once had a cohort. Lebel. Never Adley. He's gone. Killed protecting our god and guardian. He gave his life for the band. When he passed, this came to me. It shares his spirit, as does the Baxeltag. If it would wear this, it would honor us both. Say nothing then. Perhaps.
All right, next up we're headed to Nerud. That's how I say it. I'm sorry. The Seeker's Rest. I think it can also be prison, that you can find the Generating Band, which regenerates 3% of your max HP per second while a shield is active. And then the Subterfuge Link. This is a twofer. After killing an enemy, increases the cast speed of your next mod or skill cast by 35%, which lasts 15 seconds or until it is consumed. So I found this in the Void Vessel facility. I've also seen it in the hatchery. I'm sure there's a couple of different places that you can find this specific little puzzle, but you'll know it's this because you'll find this big giant glass wall. So what you want to do is you want to come down here to the left, and it should be laid out exactly the same, just might be in a different area. So if you see that, you know you're in the right place. Go ahead and go down the lift. And the room will be flooded. Just gonna kill all the guys and then jump over here to the next room. We're gonna come back down here and go through this door right here. So don't forget that. I'll just climb up here. Go all the way to the tippy top. I think Nerud has some of my favorite art direction. I mean, all of the zones are good, but you're gonna hit this button at the top, which is going to drain all the water in the room. But yeah, I think Nerud has probably my favorite. It's kind of like a Prometheus vibe, you know. And then I can't lie, the black hole in the background is just the icing on the cake. So now you see that room that I was just looking at is drained of water. And we're going to go back down. Elevators need a speed buff, I think. At least for when they're coming up. I think if they went faster when you're going down, it might make you motion sick. But you'll see all the water's drained now, so now we can actually walk through this door, which will airlock. And now there's 3 items you can get, 2 of which are the 2 rings that we want. One is an amulet. But basically all you need to do now is parkour climb, just like I am, all the way to the top and Do not let the water overtake you, or you will die. Luckily, you can come back and do it again if you do mess up. All right, and next up we are headed to Lawsome, to the Palace Courtyard. We're going to be looking for the Cataloger's Jewel. This automatically generates 8 mod power per second. I've used it. If you're doing a mod build, it's awesome, especially if you're using like the sun shot. You just always have those shots up. It's great. And all we're going to do is make it all the way through to the Jester's card puzzle and the Malefic Palace, which is kind of like the night version of the world. And then once we've done this, we'll go back up to the top, behind where he's sitting, and open up that shortcut door. And then we're going to make our way back to the entrance, but in the dark world instead of the light world, where we originally came in. Now all you need to do is put the gold and black masks onto the time-changing thing and switch it over to the beatific world. And now that we're in the beatific realm, we are just going to go back to where the Jester was doing his card game, and we're going to go back to where the elevator we came up when you originally found the Jester with the cards. We're going to go back down that in this realm and find the Cataloger's Jewel there. All right, next up we're headed back to Yesha, and you want to look for Indara's End. Now, I found this one on the Red Throne. You can probably find it on the Forbidden Grove as well, but we're looking for Burden of the Follower. This reduces your fire rate by 15%, but increases your mod power generation by 50%. So pretty good if you're doing a mod build and you're not worried about shooting as much. So like I said, we're looking for Indira's End. And what you want to do is look along the walls, and you will see these almost little Oklahoma-shaped shapes. And next to the statue with a red flag, there will be a hole in the ground that you can drop through. And there's some lore books that you can read if you want. But up at the top is the ring, Burden of the Follower. That one was probably the easier one. Harder to actually find, but easier as far as the video is concerned. All right, and now we are still in Yesha. You can find this one on the Red Throne. We're in Indira's End still. I probably could have added this to the one previous, the Followers. But this time, we are looking for the Tempest Conduit. So after you receive elemental damage, this increases all damage dealt by 10%, and your resistance to that received element increases by 20 for 20 seconds. So where you want to get to is the final small bonfire or crystal that's at the end of the room, or at the end of the level, and you'll see this room off to the side. Now the squares won't be there on your screen if you haven't discovered this room yet, but all you need to do is walk into the room, and this will actually be a 4x4 square once it's complete. There's a couple of different items you can get in here. I'm not going to show those just for the sake of time, but we're just going to look at the Tempest Conduit. There's different directions you can go in here to get the different items. Just follow this path if all you care about is the ring. If not, there's other videos on YouTube that kind of go over this puzzle specifically in depth. So what you want to do is you come in here and you look to the right, and you'll step on a hidden plate, opens a door. Stand on the plate, wait for the door to go all the way up. Once it does, run straight once. Kill the enemies. And you want to make sure you're looking back straight again. And now you might want to dodge. Sometimes the circles on the walls will shoot you. Sometimes they don't. But now we want to go to the left, so go ahead and clear the enemies out. Stand on the plate. Dodge just in case, coming in. And now from here, we're going to go to the right. And this will put us at the far back left. Go straight from there. And now we're just going to follow the back line of squares on your mini map all the way to the third square. And then to the fourth square. And then from here, you're going to turn right and go backwards, back towards the entrance on the fourth line of squares. And when you come to the third room, you will see the ring right here. And then there will be a ladder to your left that you can escape from. And now we come to Nerud again. This one's going to be a fairly simple one to actually get. The hardest part is getting Terminus Station. And I've seen that there's a couple, there's at least 2 different versions of Terminus Station. One will not have this at all, but has other rings, which I'm going to do in a different video. But what we're looking for is the Burden of the Stargazer. Now this reduces your skill cooldowns by 15%, but activating a skill costs you 15% HP. It sounds like it would be cool for like a skill-based HP regen build. So once you've entered Terminus Station, you're just going to, if you have the right version, which this one, if you look in the top at the mini map, is Terminus Station 21. If you get Terminus Station 21, it should be exactly like this. But what what you want to do is just follow this path. Now, your layout might be a little different, but we're going to look for the same thing, which will be a platform that we need to jump down to, and that will actually lead us straight to the ring.
Whoa. That's it?
You'll see underneath this platform, there will be this spot. We're just going to run through here, go up this elevator. And then once we get to the top, it's literally just as easy as turning around. And boom, it's going to be right up here. Not a super hard ring to find, but really easy to just run right past. All right, so the next ring that we're going to be getting is fairly easy, and most of you guys have probably already completed what you need to do this, but we need to complete 15 zones. And so what a zone is, at least what I'm going to call a zone for this explanation, would be Narud is a zone, Lossum is a zone, Yesh is a zone, Ashen Wasteland is a zone. So once you've gone all the way through and you've completed the final boss, whether that is in your regular rolled campaign or adventure mode, that will count as a zone completed. Once you have 15 zones completed, you will unlock the Brightsteel Ring at Reggie, and you can just go buy that from him. And what that does is allows you to have the fastest evade roll regardless of whatever your armor encumbrance is. So I got a lot of people telling me on my build video, hey, you should try the Brightsteel Ring instead of having the Misty Step. And I agree. I think it would be pretty cool. I do like having the Misty Step because it does take away HP, which helps me with my regen. But for people who aren't maybe doing healer but want to be full tank or some other type of build, this is a pretty great ring to not be flopping. And for some reason, the game audio didn't record here. I was just going to let this part ride so you can see me buying it. There wasn't really any reason for me to talk here, but now I have to since the audio messed up. Maybe I'll put some music here and then not put this recording of my voice on here. That'd probably be a better idea. All right, and the last ring of this video is the Tarnished Ring. Now this one's a tricky little bastard. I admittedly have still not gotten this one, but I know how. It's just a matter of time. So this increases your damage of this increases all the damage of unarmed attacks by 30%. And I think that just means when you don't have a melee weapon equipped and you're just punching. I could be wrong on that. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. There might be some melee weapons that count as unarmed. I'd like to know which, because I want to play around with an unarmed build. But basically, all you need to do to get this ring, I don't believe there's any prerequisites of like having to have finished the game. I think I've seen this guy where he's supposed to be able to talk to him before. But all you need to do is go up here onto these ramparts, and there's a guy asleep in a crate. I've seen other people do this, and I've waited and waited and waited and tried. But this guy in this crate has been asleep. I swear I've seen him awake sometimes, and I just missed it. But as you go in and out of worlds, finishing zones, this guy will actually be awake at one point, standing right here where I'm pointing. And if you talk to him and completely exhaust his dialogue, it will give you he will give you the Tarnished Ring, which I don't know for sure. Can't confirm this, but I do believe, and maybe everyone else is slapping their foreheads going, no shit, guy. I think as a cool little nod to Elden Ring. Let's speculate on that in the comments. Let me know if you agree with me or not. Or if you were like, no duh, Sherlock. It's definitely a nod to Elden Ring. So that is 10 secret rings. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully there was one or two at least on here that you hadn't found, and I helped you actually get those. I'll make a couple more of these videos as I'm trying to 100%. I think there's some more rings I haven't found. There's definitely some amulets I haven't found. And the ones I'm going to pick will be the ones that I think are, not necessarily as easy to find. So hopefully this was helpful to you. If I put you to sleep with my talking, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.